Hey, it's Lockstin and welcome to my universe. Thank you so much for 250,000 subscribers. To celebrate, I have a new intro. First, my reaction video to most of the game trailers this E3. Summarized. And now, real quick, this video is sponsored by GamesGrabber, and as such, I have a new collection on my GamesGrabber page entitled My Favorite Games at E3 2016. These games may or may not end up being as good as my hope is right now, but based strictly on what we know about these games, they are my favorites. There are a few good hidden gems in there also, so I highly recommend you check it out by clicking that link in the description. Now then, let's review this E3. I can hands down say that, in my opinion, this is the most entertaining E3 yet. Not necessarily the best, not necessarily the most mind-blowing, not necessarily having some of the biggest news dropped, but the most fun, the most entertaining. First, let's talk about the business side of things. Something I feel like a lot of people need to realize is that E3 is primarily a business meeting. It's not 100% about the fans. I mean, if it was about the fans, do you really think they would spend so much time on games like Just Dance and FIFA? Granted, those games are incredibly popular, but do you really think the people that put those so highly on their favorite games lists are also the kinds of people that would watch E3? No. And now I bet the 6 people that do think those games are super amazing and are super into E3 are leaving hate in the comments now, I'm sure of it. So, let's start by just talking about some of the brilliant business decisions that I have seen in this E3. Starting with Ubisoft's conference, I think it was brilliant that they started with Just Dance, getting it out of the way, and also starting high energy, dancing on stage, and then revealing Just Dance 2017. I almost fell over. I mean, either way, you know that as soon as they reveal that, there's going to be a big communal. So it was very smart to get it out of the way first, and start with high energy. Another brilliant business move was this one. So during the Sony conference, they started talking about this FPS game that is all futuristic, and, my immediate thoughts were, oh, this looks like another Call of Duty, another Halo clone. They start showing off the space battles, and all the stuff that you do in the campaign and such. And then near the end, they reveal that it is indeed Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The whole time I was watching it, I did say that, oh, this being another Call of Duty clone looking game, it's probably not a game for me, but, it looks neat. I don't know why they're not talking about the title, but then they did, and it all made sense. The Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer is one of the most disliked videos on YouTube. It did not do well in the press, and all for various reasons that we won't get into right now, but because of that, they knew that as soon as they title drop, everyone will get upset. They knew that if they said, now let's talk about Call of Duty, everyone would again communally sigh, or communally hate, and not think clearly because they're too busy being sheeps and hating because hating is a cool thing to do. It's a meme. Haha. Aren't I funny? So if they had title dropped, people wouldn't pay attention. People wouldn't listen to them and how they're changing some of the things about the game, the space battles, showing all that off. So, smart business move. What wasn't a smart business move was me putting on this shirt, and it's 120 degrees outside. Another interesting business move was how Nintendo put so much focus on The Legend of Zelda. I was really worried. I was thinking, if this is the only thing they're really going to be talking about, does that mean that they're not working on anything else? And maybe that's the case, but I feel like it actually worked. Now, I noticed in a lot of the Twitch and YouTube comment feeds during the live stream, everyone was saying, enough about Zelda, where's everything else that isn't Zelda? And, come on, everyone knew months in advance that this was going to be the case. Are Twitch chats usually full of the lowest common denominator? Anyway, I feel like this was a good business move for them after revealing how crazy it was. I now fully understand why this game was delayed so much as it was. because it's becoming more and more amazing. A delayed product is usually better than if it wasn't delayed, and people need to realize that. Delays are not a bad thing. They are the opposite of a bad thing. Which is a good thing. Though my goodness, starting with the Zelda trailer, and then talking about Pokemon for an hour, it's the worst hour for Zelda fans. Stepping away from Nintendo now, I do like the look of the new Xbox. I'm probably still not going to get it, especially now that their games are going to be on Windows 10 also. I feel like that is a dangerous business move. It might be a good one. The idea being that now if someone's primarily a PC gamer, but some of their friends are Xbox gamers, now they can play games with their Xbox friends. Or if someone is a console gamer, but most of their friends are PC gamers, then they could get an Xbox and play with their PC friends. Smart business move. Hopefully. Or it's a terrible business move. Because of people like me. Who, now that it's on PC, I'm never even going to consider getting an Xbox. Like seriously, every game Microsoft showed off, the ones that I actually cared about or thought that, hey, that looks good, they revealed as also being on Windows. Or were also multi-plat. So, dangerous, Microsoft. Dangerous move. And then the new Xbox, they announced Project Scorpio, or something like that, where they're releasing an Xbox 1.5, essentially, and there's already... I can't remember if it's rumors or if it was confirmed that Sony's doing the same thing. But Microsoft only just now confirmed that they're doing it. I'll have a whole I'll have a whole video about that later on, about the whole 0.5 console generation. What it means for the industry. Throughout Microsoft's press conference, I loved how much they were like shoving in your face, this is an exclusive! By the way, this is an exclusive! Oh, first on console on Xbox! Oh, this is an exclusive! For a month. Oh, and by the way, We Happy Few? That game looks awesome if you're a BioShock fan. It has a very BioShocky feel. And I hope they get into like, not only happy pills, but safe spaces and such. That would be interesting. They showed off some more Final Fantasy 15, which I believe this is the first time that Microsoft is showing that off, because it is a multi-platform game. And for me, at least, it's looking more and more like this is probably going to be my favorite Final Fantasy game. Kingdom Hearts gameplay in a game not filled with Disney edginess. That sounds amazing. Not hating on Kingdom Hearts or anything, but I don't know, I feel like I'm growing out of it, which sort of hurts my heart. But the later ones, I've just been liking it less and less. The story, that is. The gameplay is getting better and better with each one. Which is why I'm still looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3. Another Dead Rising. Oh, please don't become another annual series. Now let me tell you what my favorite event of all of E3 was. My favorite thing that happened. During Microsoft's press conference, they brought some lady on, I don't remember her name, but she wasn't even a game dev if my memory serves me right. I might be getting a few details wrong here. But she was like the head of first-party relations marketing or something like that. And she was going on and on about how Microsoft is bringing back an old favorite franchise and it's going to be great, and ooh, I don't think this has been leaked before, so this is going to be really, really big news, and they were building it up as awesome. And then the trailer started, and it showed a quote about how great the game was, and then another quote, and then another quote, and then the same quote as before. How did no one catch that when making this trailer? And then it was revealed that it was a epic card game based on Shadow Dust or something like that. I have never heard of that. But then it was revealed that it's not even a new game. They're literally porting an original Xbox game onto the Xbox One and claiming it as being like the greatest thing ever. Hilarious. And Sony's press conference was really good also, showing off plenty of good games that again were all exclusive, but they definitely weren't shoving exclusive in your face as much. And when they came out and revealed that they're remastering Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, you could feel the tears in the eyes. Tears of joy in everyone's eyes, and the fans were cheering wildly. Sony really knows how to give gamers what they want. And hey, The Last Guardian release date, finally! That's a game I've been looking forward to for 7 years. Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games. Though I'm not getting my hopes up too much, it's probably going to be delayed Hideo Kojima has a new game, and I'm looking forward to it, though you can't really get your hopes up about a game trailer when it's just you're like, what? Okay, Kojima, you do you. It'll probably be good. Horizon Zero Dawn looks interesting, though it's definitely a game I'm going to read a lot of reviews about before purchasing, and then even then probably still wait for it to get a price drop. The concept is amazingly awesome, but the gameplay they showed off looked like it would get boring really easy. And it is being made by a company that's known for making incredibly okay games. Not bad, but not amazing either. The new God of War looks interesting because it appears that they're going a different route with the game, rather than being all crazy, angry, hack and slash, super buff McGee all the time. They're taking a more personal approach to it, and it looks like you'll eventually switch off into playing as Kratos' son, which is interesting. I feel like that's really going to hurt the game in reviews because people expect the game to be the same, and then it's not the same, and change is the worst thing ever, but good on them. Sony's press conference heavily focused on VR stuff, which I thought was awesome. And total props, again, to creative business decisions, such as the one where they started a trailer, and it was some creepy, derelict trailer, and you could tell it was a VR game because of the way the camera moved unperfectly, because our heads always move slightly. And it was this creepy horror VR game, and only at the very end was it revealed that it is Resident Evil 7. And that logo, I love what they did with that logo. It's like, they waited 20 years to do this. I can imagine them being, hey, let's start making Resident Evil 2 now. Ooh, and then sometime after that we can make Resident Evil 3, and then, when we get to 7, we can do this. They've been waiting to do this for like 20 years. But again, very smart business move, because Resident Evil, as of late, has been seen as a shadow of its former self. It's not good anymore. 4 was the last good one. Maybe 5 was the last good one. 5 was where it started dropping. And then 6 was garbage. And then a lot of the ones in between were garbage. Not absolutely terrible games. Some of them were, but not all of them. But showing that it was a VR game, and that the gameplay does look totally different from previous Resident Evils. So they're showing that they're going back to their roots and making it a VR game, which is awesome. I'm not so sure how well VR is going to do. It still feels like it's in its gimmicky phase, kind of like how initially every company was showing off their motion controls. Look, this is the future of gaming, and then look where it happened. Or look at what happened. But Sony did show off a lot of VR stuff, which is why I am now in the opinion that if I ever do buy a VR headset, it will most likely be PlayStation VR, as opposed to the other ones. Sure, you can't use it on PC as far as I'm aware, but the options on PlayStation so far are a lot better than the options on PC. So EA had the first press conference, and it was easily the most boring press conference I've ever seen. So much focus on FIFA and other games I don't care about. Like, the only game I cared about was Mass Effect Andromeda, and then they didn't talk enough about it. Bethesda came out, and the biggest news they really dropped was, hey, new Quake! We're rehashing another old game that will probably get lots of nostalgia boners up. Hopefully it's good. I enjoyed Quake back in the day, and so hopefully it's good. But again, not getting my hopes up. Doom's multiplayer is good, but it's still too mainstream. There's nothing different. What's unique about it? So if they bring back the old Quake formula, even though it is a tried and true formula, it's a formula that hasn't been done recently. So it'll add some variety to the multiplayer shooter scene. PC version of Fallout Shelter, now you can hack it even easier. And the big news was Skyrim Remastered, being released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC again. Even though Skyrim Remastered still doesn't look as good as a very heavily modded Oblivion. Though I am really glad that if you have the PC version and you have all the DLC, then you get the remastered version for free. That's good. That's good. But hey, maybe it'll get more people in on the amazingness that is the Elder Scrolls. One can only hope. Ubisoft, or Ubisoft. I know both are technically correct, but people still get upset when you say the wrong one anyway. Watch Dogs 2, surprised about, though I assume they have learned their lesson and won't hype it up nearly as much as they did the first one. I'm sure there's nothing they could really do to make Watch Dogs 2 worse than the first one. So, awesome. Persona 5 got shown off a lot. Not really my kind of game. Sega's press conference was incredibly boring. My goodness. Like, boring to the point where I couldn't even multitask while doing it. It was dragging me down. The whole time I was watching E3, I was also working. I was editing and writing other videos. And I just had it off on my second screen. But, my goodness, I had to turn it off. Because it was so bad. And now just a quick rundown of some of my favorite games. The new Deus Ex looks awesome. I've loved the whole franchise. Deformers looks like good, simple fun. It's definitely either going to be a game that I will happily spend $5 to $10 on, or we'll just wait until it inevitably becomes a PlayStation Plus game. Same with Steep. It looks like good fun, but good fun that I'd get bored with after a few hours. So, again, a game I would love to see on PlayStation Plus sometime. Severed was actually the first game shown at E3 that I super was excited for after seeing that trailer. I absolutely adored Guacamelee, and I have really high hopes for this game. And of course Pokemon. They showed off 3 new Pokemon, and one of them looks like it really, really wants to build a wall. Pokemon Go looks like a ginormous waste of time. Like $34.99 for a little add-on that makes the game playable, but even then, there's not much of a game to it. If you've ever heard of Ingress, Pokemon Go is like a worse version of Ingress, so just play Ingress. But of course, it's Pokemon themed, so everyone will get it anyway. I mean, Pokemon Shuffle and Pokemon Picross both got me. I'm not a huge fan of those kinds of games, but I still got them because they're Pokemon themed. And now I'm a huge fan of Picross. But of course, the highlight of it all for me was the intense Zelda coverage. Now, I have a very strange relationship with the Zelda franchise, because I am not in the boat that would consider myself a hardcore Zelda fan. A few of the Zelda games are some of my favorite games, such as Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. But a lot of the other ones, I'm just kind of, yeah, this is fun, this is a good game. I'm not crazy blown away by it, but it's good. And as such, so far when a new Zelda game gets announced or shown off, I've been like, yeah, that looks good, but I've never felt hype about it before. But now it really is. Everything they showed off about this new Zelda is exactly what I've wanted the franchise to do since Ocarina of Time. Probably not, I was still a kid, but since recent times, it's everything I've wanted a Zelda game to do. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being my personal game of the year. And again, it's a brilliant business move to put so much focus on it because I'm pretty sure they're going to bundle it with the Nintendo NX. I mean, my memory might be off a bit because I have bad memory, but the NX is supposedly getting released around the same time as the new Zelda, right? So I feel like it would be a bundled game. You know, buy the Nintendo NX, get a improved version of the new Zelda. And as such, they're showing off the new Zelda as much as they can to get people interested in it. We all know Nintendo doesn't have much of an interest in saving the Wii U anymore. So, why would they be putting so much effort into showing off Zelda if they weren't trying to sell the NX some more? This legitimately looks like it could end up being Game of the Year. Maybe not overall, but at least in the RPG category, or the adventure category, action-adventure. I don't know. And because of me actually feeling hyped for Zelda, you can very much expect plenty of Zelda content on this channel in the future. Wink wink. Also, by the way, this is also the most hype I've ever been for a Pokemon game, which is why there's been so much Pokemon content as of late. So, in conclusion, E3 2016 is a very fun thing that happened. I give it a B+, A-. Yeah. If you want to see my top 10? Top 15? Top 20 maybe? My personal favorite trailers and events at E3. I have links to all of that on my Games Grabber page. Link to that page in the description. Check it out. Games Grabber, of course, is the website for creating and managing video game collections. And on my page specifically, I have plenty of collections that are all themed, such as Pokemon, my personal favorite games of all time, historically important games, and more. So go check it out if you're interested. And until next time, you stay awesome.
I didn't know that because I don't do my research, and so it's still incredibly offensive. Diva, on the other hand, is glorious. Girl gamer with a mech suit. And her name is a reference to Evangelion, one of the most influential mech animes out there. And she's got all of these sponsors all over her suit. Good on her for supporting herself. Samus, I mean Farah, is also really cool. She's like a Samus, except Egyptian, and looks like a bird.
That, in my opinion, this is the most entertaining E3 yet. Not necessarily the best, not necessarily the most mind-blowing, not necessarily having some of the biggest news dropped, but the most fun, the most entertaining. First, let's talk about the business side of things. Something I feel like a lot of people need to realize is that E3 is primarily, hey, it's Lockstin and welcome to my universe! Thank you so much for 250,000 subscribers. To celebrate, I have a new intro. Entitled My Favorite Games at E3 2016. These games may or may not end up being as good as my hope is right now, but based strictly on what we know about these games, they are my favorites. There are a few good hidden gems in there also, so I highly recommend you check it out by clicking that link in the description. Now then, let's review this E3. I can hands down say a business meeting. It's not 100% about the fans. I mean, if it was about the fans, do you really think they would spend so much time on games like Just Dance and FIFA? Granted, those games are incredibly popular, but do you really think the people that put those so highly on their favorite games lists are also the kinds of people that would watch E3? No. And now I bet the 6 people. First, my reaction video to most of the game trailers this E3. Summarized. And now, real quick, this video is sponsored by GamesGrabber, and as such, I have a new collection on my GamesGrabber page.